Hello everyone, I'm Geek Freak and welcome to the video. Today I have a confession to make, and this confession is to the Avatar fans. Now to start off, I just want to say that I'm sorry. I want to say sorry to all the Avatar fans out there. Now you guys are probably wondering why I'm apologising and why did I make this video. And the reason why I've made this video and why I'm apologising is because, well, I haven't seen Avatar The Last Airbender. Now to some of you who are saying, okay, so you haven't seen Avatar The Last Airbender, I mean who cares? Maybe you should go and see it and enjoy yourself with it. But some of you out there might have seen a few videos of mine where I talk about Avatar The Last Airbender, where I say, hey, I want to see this in Avatar The Last Airbender, I want to see what happens to Azula, and so on and so on. And there was supposed to be a 4th season of Avatar The Last Airbender, and there's also me talking about a few of the comics. Hell, I even made a fan-made story about Azula's return after Smoke and Shadow. I think there's about 5 or 4 videos of me talking about Avatar The Last Airbender. And I say, here, go and check out Avatar The Last Airbender, it's really, really good. So yeah, I'm apologising for that I haven't seen Avatar The Last Airbender, even though I've been making videos about how Avatar The Last Airbender is a really, really good series. But before you guys want to kill me for lying to you, I just want you guys to hear me out of what I have to say first before you guys give me my public execution. So we're going to have to go way back to the beginning, and it all started with my love for anime. You know, when I started getting into anime, and I must have been in my early teens, mid-teens, somewhere like that. Maybe around 12 to 13, 14 maybe. I think I was in high school. I could have been younger. I can't remember. Anyways, I think it was around 12 to 14, 15 maybe. No, it's definitely younger. I think it was around 12 to 13. 13, 14 maybe. Anyways, when my parents went out on a Saturday night and I was just watching cable, you know, flipping through all these channels. To the younger generation that doesn't know, cable was a really, 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 really big thing back in the day. I can still remember when we only had a few channels, like BBC One, BBC Two, BBC Three, Channel 4, 5, CITV, and when I got into my teens, that's when we started getting cable. And when I was somewhere around 12 to 13, I watched a hell of a lot of cartoons. Cow and Chicken, Johnny Bravo, Looney Tunes, Hong Kong Phooey. I'll tell you guys something, I was hooked on Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network back in the day had variety and it was so freaking awesome. Man, cartoons was awesome back in the day. Anyways, I'm going off topic. Toonami didn't exist yet. It was just new cartoons mixing in with old cartoons. Anyways, as time went on and my parents went out and I would have the house to myself, when my parents went out, I was flipping through the channels and then on Sci-Fi, something caught my eye. And it was on the channel Sci-Fi. And it was an animation movie. But it wasn't just any animation movie. It was an anime called Tokyo Revelations, which I didn't know at the time. I didn't know it was called that. But this anime was my very, very first anime. And not only that, it was my very, very first adult anime. If you guys have heard of Tokyo Revelations, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's a very old anime. And this thing was on a Saturday and it was around 11 to 12 late at night. And I was thinking to myself, hold on, I thought all cartoons stopped playing after 9. And I'll tell you guys something, back in the day, I was a huge cartoon-holic. I loved watching cartoons. And when I saw this anime, which I didn't know at the time was an anime, on Sci-Fi, I thought to myself, wow, a cartoon, I'm going to watch this. And when I watched it from beginning to end, holy hell, my mind was blown. The gore, the violence, my god, it was just glorious. And then, the Saturday after that, I saw Violence Jack. And my god, that was awesome. There was also The Tank Police, Bubblegum Crash, Blackjack, Legend of the Overfiend. Yeah, that was actually on Sci-Fi back in the day. And there was loads more. And every Saturday I would look forward to watching those because they completely and utterly blew my mind. It was just awesome. Now I know what some of you are going to say. You're going to say, Geek Freak, what does this have to do with Avatar The Last Airbender? I'm getting to it, just let me continue my story. Anyways, like I said, there was like Ghost in the Shell and Akira and so on and so on. And those was awesome. And then I started getting into Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon. Basically, I started getting into anime and shifted away from cartoons. Well, not 100%, but I would always look forward to watching any anime I could find. And as the years went on, I started collecting anime DVDs. And I would only watch anime. I was an anime holic. I would save up and buy any anime I can get my hands on. Because, you know, I love collecting them. And then one day I saw this series called Avatar The Last Airbender on this website that sold anime. And I was like, okay, I'll buy that. And I thought this series was an anime. So I didn't read what it was about, or looked on reviews, or asked people what it was all about. I just bought the damn thing. And then later on, I went into my anime list, and I was putting every single anime DVD that I owned onto my list. And when I tried to put Avatar The Last Airbender into my anime list, I find out that Avatar The Last Airbender isn't an anime. And this is the part where you guys are going to hate me. Without ever giving it a try or reading about it first, I just put it to one side and not watch it. And this was all 3 DVDs. You know, book 1, book 2, book 3. I put them all on one side and I didn't watch them. And then later on, I just sold them. Yeah, without ever giving them a second look, without even reading about them or asking people if it was good or bad or whatever. I just outright got rid of them without ever giving them a chance. Yeah, some of you guys are probably hating me right about now. But before you guys do that, just let me finish with my story. And like I said, I was an extremely passionate, very, very passionate otaku. I would proudly call myself an otaku. And when I started my YouTube channel, I originally wanted to do anime reviews and top 10s on stuff. But thanks to YouTube, my dreams of being the YouTuber I wanted to be was dashed. Because I wasn't allowed to show clips. Otherwise I get a copy strike or something. But that's another story for another day. So anyways, yeah, I got rid of Avatar The Last Airbender. Because again, I was a very passionate anime fan. And as a few years went on, I was just on YouTube, looking at a few things. And then I watched this one video, I can't remember what it was called. I think it could have been like a top 10 list or something. Or it could have been like a scene from the show of Avatar The Last Airbender. I can't exactly remember which video it was on, but I will never forget. I saw a clip of Azula when she was breaking down when she lost her fight with Zuko. Now at the time I didn't know it was Avatar The Last Airbender, and I didn't know who Azula was, and I didn't know who Zuko was. But when I saw Azula's breakdown, I mean, I was shocked. Because for years, I always saw cartoons as kid stuff. And when I saw Azula's breakdown, I never saw anything like that in a cartoon before. I have never seen a character go through a breakdown like that before. And when I saw that scene, it completely stuck with me. I mean, she was crying and she was yelling. You know, her complete meltdown. And that scene left an impression on me. Like I said, I have never seen a cartoon where a character broke down like what Azula went through. But like I said, I didn't know who these characters was, and I didn't know what this series was about until I was told who these characters was and what series this is from. And then after that, I couldn't get Azula's breakdown out of my mind. Well, it would, fade out and fade back in, fade out, fade back in. Every time somebody mentioned Avatar Last Airbender or Azula. So that part where Azula has her breakdown was the very first thing I saw of Avatar The Last Airbender. But even after seeing that scene, I couldn't be bothered to go and watch Avatar The Last Airbender. Because again, I was only into anime. Yeah, I know. I was very, very stupid. And then sometime later, I would see a few videos there and there about Avatar The Last Airbender. But again, I was too much of a biased one-note fanboy, only wanting to watch anime. But as more and more videos came out about Avatar The Last Airbender on YouTube, I would get to know a little bit about the characters in the series, a little bit about Zuko, a little bit about Azula. And then one day, I saw this one clip from the series, and it was about Azula on a beach. And she was talking to, I think it was Zuko and Mai and Ty Lee. And Azula was talking about how Azula thought that she thought her mother saw her as a monster. And that got me interested. And there was another scene where I saw Zuko talk to his father, and he asked him, "Where is my mother?" I can't remember where I saw these scenes, but it was most definitely on a YouTube video somewhere. So these are the 3 scenes from the series that got me interested. Azula's breakdown, Azula confessing to her friends and her brother that she thought that their mother saw Azula as a monster. And there was also the scene where Zuko was asking his father where their mother was. Oh, and there was also this other scene where Azula was talking to her mother inside of the mirror, which is obviously inside of her head. And it was this part where I knew she was going crazy. And so, all these scenes got me interested in Avatar The Last Airbender, but again, I still wouldn't watch the series. Yeah, I know, I was very, very stubborn. But, saying that, I did eventually look up on Wikipedia. Avatar Wikipedia. And all these scenes with Azula got me interested, and I was reading on her page saying who she is, and what happened with her mother and her, how her friends betrayed her breakdown. And also, I didn't know at the time, but I was reading a part where it said that Azula ran into the Forgetful Valley, and she said something to Zuko saying that you're a fool or something, and that was it. There was nothing else after that. Now, I can't remember if I knew if this came from the animated series or it came from the comic books, but when I read that part where it said that Azula ran into the Forgetful Valley, I assumed the story ended there for Avatar The Last Airbender. because at the time I didn't know it was an ongoing series within the comics. I just assumed that it just ended there with Azula. And after when I read that, where she ran into the Forgetful Valley, and I read up all this stuff about who she was, where did she come from, and all this stuff that happened to her. And to be honest, I really did feel sorry for Azula, I really did. And after reading all this stuff that happened to her in her life, Azula to me sounded interesting. And at the same time, I couldn't bring myself to watch the series or read the series, because it just feels really, really sad that Azula had to go through all this stuff. I felt really, really bad for her. And for me to watch the entire series just to see Azula have her breakdown and lose her friends and all this horrible stuff that she went through, it just sounded really, really sad. And again, I couldn't bring myself to watch the series, and it wasn't because I was too prideful and I would only watch anime. It was because it sounded like a sad end for Azula. I mean, she went through all this stuff and then she just runs away into the Forgetful Valley. And at the time, I did assume that that's where the story ended for Azula. And I didn't know this was an ongoing series. At the time, I didn't know there was going to be more comic books coming out. So it wasn't the fact that I was too prideful, it was the fact that this interesting character that I felt sorry for would just disappear and never be seen again. And this was in the book The Search. And then later on I find out there was another comic book called The Rift. And then I thought to myself, oh, so it's a continuous story then. So there was hope that Azula would return. So yeah, after figuring out that there was going to be another comic called The Rift, I held out hope there was going to be another comic book with Azula in it. And then, somewhere around the time, the Nostalgia Critic, or Doug Walker, made 3 videos about Avatar The Last Airbender. The one about the live action movie, and the top 10 worst episodes, and the top 10 best episodes of Avatar The Last Airbender. And when I saw these videos, these are the videos that made me think, you know what the hell, I'll give this series a shot. And so, I bought myself the box set, I brought the comics, The Promise, The Search, The Rift. Yeah, this was the push that made me want to get Avatar The Last Airbender and want to watch it. It was the Nostalgia Critic that made me want to watch Avatar The Last Airbender. So, thank you, Doug. But saying that, I didn't watch the series yet. In fact, I haven't seen the series yet, because I wanted to know what happened to Azula within the comic books first, and give me that satisfying ending that I've been longing for. And like I said, I was still holding out hope that Azula would return after The Search. And here's the thing, I haven't read The Search. I only read what was happening with Azula on Avatar The Last Airbender wiki. So yeah, I got myself the box sets, the hardcover comic books. I haven't got The Legend of Korra, and after when Korra ended, I heard that Azula wasn't in it, so the series didn't really interest me. So yeah, I got the box sets, I've got the comic books, and when I did get the comic books, I started reading The Search, and my god, The Search was a freaking awesome comic. I absolutely love The Search. The mystery of what happened to their mother, the tension between Team Avatar and Azula, and my god, when Azula confronts her mother, it is just beautiful. Now, even though I did find Azula's character very interesting in the beginning, but when I read The Search, not only did we have drama, intense, good character development, revelations, but it also shows that Azula is more complex. There was a scene in the comic where Azula's mother apologizes to Azula for not giving her enough love, and when she said this, the look on Azula's face was just incredible. And it was all thanks to that made me officially an Azula fan. In the beginning, I found her interesting, but it was all thanks to The Search that I became a fan of Azula. And my god, The Search is a fantastic read. And then later on, when I found out that there will be more comic books coming out after The Search, I was hoping to find out more what would happen to Azula, and we wouldn't find out more until Smoke and Shadow came out. Now, in my honest opinion, even though I think Smoke and Shadow is rushed, that too in itself was a good read. And yes, we also got to see Azula again, and in Smoke and Shadow, she is kicking ass. And in Smoke and Shadow, it is a very complicated situation. I won't go into details on what's going on in Smoke and Shadow, but a lot of things do go on in this comic. And if you're a Avatar The Last Airbender fan, you guys know what happens in the comic. And the one thing that really got under my skin is the fact that Smoke and Shadow stops at a cliffhanger. Well, not exactly a cliffhanger, but more like there was a lot of unanswered questions. Like, what happened to Azula? Did she ever reconcile with her mother? What's the relationship going to be between Zuko, Azula, and their mother? And guess what? After waiting for nearly 5 freaking years, we never get an answer. Smoke and Shadow came out in the year 2016. And after Smoke and Shadow, we had North and South, and then we had The Imbalance, and then we had a few other novels like Katara and the Pirate Silver. Topps Metal Bending Academy, and then there's the new one, Suki Alone. And guess what? Guess freaking what? After Smoke and Shadow, none of these comics have anything about Azula or anything about their mother or anything. Everything that was unresolved in Smoke and Shadow is driving me crazy. I really want to find out what happens to Azula. Now I know what some of you are going to say. You're going to say, oh, but Geek Freak, the other characters like Zuko and Hang and all the other characters in the series are just as interesting as Azula. And yes, I know. And I do understand that, and I know I'm obsessing about Azula too much, but even though The Search made me an Azula fan, Smoke and Shadow drove me crazy. And to be honest, I was actually planning on watching Avatar: The Last Airbender as soon as it got a definite ending to what would happen to Azula in the comics. And I was waiting. And again, since then, from Smoke and Shadow all the way to the newest comic, or novel, Suki Alone, there has been no mention of Azula whatsoever. I mean, come on, there's a perfectly good story with drama and morals that they could use with Azula, like the relationship with Team Avatar and their mom and Zuko and Azula's old friends, her sister. Did Azula ever reconcile with her mom? There are so many things that they could do with Azula. The part where she had her breakdown and the part where she runs off into the Forgetful Valley, and I thought was the end of Azula, was really, really sad. But then I found out that she came back in Smoke and Shadow, and then at the end of the book, she disappears again. Okay, so the first time, I felt sad that Azula disappeared, and then when she comes back in Smoke and Shadow, it makes me very, very irritated. Okay, I've gone on far enough. The point is, I have been waiting for a very, very long time to wanting to know what happened to Azula, or what's going to happen to her. And to the Avatar fans who may or may not know, there was supposed to be a 4th season to Avatar: The Last Airbender, and it was supposed to be about Azula getting a redemption arc, but sadly the 4th book was never made. I'm talking about the cartoon, not the actual book itself. But instead, they decided to make the live action movie, which sucked balls. So instead of having a 4th season, we had a comic book series instead. And also, I also heard that there was supposed to be a mini movie about The Search, but Nickelodeon turned down the movie idea. The thing is, Azula has become one of my favourite characters. And I know for a fact there's people out there that doesn't like Azula, or there are some fans who do like her. But I think the biggest thing that really stopped me from wanting to watch Avatar: The Last Airbender was not only because we never knew what happened to Azula after Smoke and Shadow, but the fact it was her breakdown. I know for a fact if I was to go and watch Avatar: The Last Airbender and watch it all the way through, all the way to the part where Azula has her breakdown, and then I move on to the comics and read The Promise, The Search, The Rift, Smoke and Shadow, and North and South, and whatever comics come after that. But after Smoke and Shadow, there is nothing on Azula. And you know what? It kind of leaves me with that empty feeling inside. Like, she has this breakdown, she has this revelation in The Search, and then in Smoke and Shadow, she has a goal. And then, boom, she's gone. And just to let you guys know, I got so fed up of waiting. Last year, I made a fan-made story about Azula's return. You can find it here on YouTube. If you guys want to go and check that out, please do. If you guys are frustrated and has been waiting for a very long time for Azula to return, then this fan-made story I made will probably help a little bit. Now I know there's some people out there who is frustrated and wants to know what happened to Azula, her mother, Enki, Team Avatar, Mai, Ty Lee, and yes, I know there's going to be a new Avatar series, so we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen with that. Let's just hope Azula's in it. Now I know there's going to be some people out there who's going to say that I'm being very obsessive with Azula, and you know what? You guys are absolutely right. I am obsessed. And the reason why I'm so obsessed is because there is drama here. And Azula is the centre of it. Azula nearly killed Hang. Mai and Ty Lee are Azula's former friends. And Mai is going to marry Zuko one day, which will make Mai Azula's sister-in-law. Urza wants Azula back in her life. Team Avatar doesn't trust her. And you know what? This is awesome. It's a very complicated situation. There's drama here. There's people who want to help Azula. There's people who want Azula back in their lives. There are people who don't like Azula. There's people who don't believe that Azula can change. Mai doesn't like Azula now. But Urza and Mai are going to be in-laws in the future. But Urza still loves Azula. I mean, come on. There is some really, really good drama here. Why can't kids just have drama and morals in cartoons these days? Or even better, just leave out the morals and just give us some good, raw drama. I want to see Azula come back in the comics and have her arc finished. And if there is going to be an Avatar return, then I hope that she's going to be in that. And so, that's my story. And even though I've made a few videos giving my thoughts on Avatar: The Last Airbender, I didn't make those videos for clout or to get the fans to come my way. And I didn't make those videos to trick people or anything like that. I made those videos because I have a passion with Azula's character. And like I said, I haven't watched the series yet, but I have read on Wikipedia, watched videos from people on who these characters are, a few scenes from the show, and of course the comics. To me, Azula is a very fascinating character, and it was all thanks to the comic book The Search. And again, I do have the box set, I do have the comics. The only thing I was waiting for was Azula's story conclusion. That was the thing I was waiting for before I decided to watch the series. And so, that's the whole story. And I know for a fact there's going to be people out there who's going to say that I shouldn't obsess with Azula, and there's like other characters who have good stories as well. And you know what? I take your word for it. I really, really do. But not knowing what happened to Azula in Smoke and Shadow has been driving me crazy for years. And that's the reason why I made those videos in the past about Avatar The Last Airbender. So yeah, that's everything I want to tell you guys. That is the old truth of what I have to say. I haven't watched the series, but I have read up about it. But I am a huge fan of Azula, especially what happened to her in The Search. It's all thanks to Azula that got me interested in Avatar The Last Airbender. And so, I await your verdict. I've come clean, and I apologise. It was never my intention to deceive you guys. I just really do have a passion and love for the character Azula. I mean, not in a weird way, but more of a fascination with her because of her character, her backstory, and now she's connected with everybody. And it just infuriates me that everything is on a cliffhanger. But again, I wait for your verdict, and I understand if you guys are angry with me. But like I said earlier, I've got this series right here, ready and set and raring to go. And I've got the comic books. And those videos I made came from passion and love for the series, and not to try to get more viewers or subscribers my way. So I hope you guys understand, and again, I wait for your verdict, and I hope you guys have a nice day. I'm Geek Freak. Peace out. Thank you guys for watching. And if there's a series you want me to check out and review and give my thoughts on it, or if there's a top 10 list you want me to do, or any reactions, or responses, or rants on anything geeky, just leave links and comments in the comment sections below, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Don't forget to like, subscribe, put the bell on, share this video, and leave a comment in the comment sections below. And as for my social medias, I'm literally freaking everywhere! I'm on most video platforms, social medias, forums, and support sites. It's best to pause the video and see where I am. Literally all this is down in the description box below. So if you want to go and check those out, please do. I'm Geek Freak. Peace out.